Slimehouse TV, myself Theo Kane, welcome to All Figured Out, and in today's episode we're going to be looking at some of the toys that I picked up during lockdown. For toy collectors worldwide, 2020 lockdown meant no markets, no carboots, no thrift stores, no toy fairs, none of that. So we all had to get our little plastic crack fixed by clicking online, going on eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Facebook groups and that kind of thing, and I were no exception. So I picked up some really cool stuff while we've all been trapped in our houses. Now, I'm not going to show you everything that I got because some of the stuff I want to keep for future videos, but that don't mean that I ain't got some awesome stuff to show you today, so let's get into it. So if you watched our 2020 January New Year video, you'll see that I picked up this guy, Slim from Klowns from Outer Space, the exclusive Funko Pop version of him. Now, I don't collect Funko Pops, I don't really collect any contemporary figures. It's very rare that I pick up anything contemporary, but when I saw that they'd done the Klowns from Outer Space and they'd done one as a one-off, as an exclusive, I thought, do you know what, I'll get that. So I got my friend Wayne in America to pick me that up and send it me over to England. I didn't know at the time that they were going to make more, so now I've got this guy, Jumbo from Klowns, I've got Shorty, and I got Spikey. So now I've got 4 of these things. Do you know what? Like I said, I don't usually collect Funko Pops. It's very rare that I ever see a Funko Pop and I want it. Like, I don't collect contemporary toys. I'm much more into my old school, weird, retro shit. But I love this movie, Klowns from Outer Space. And like I said with Slim, the sculpt isn't like a normal Funko Pop. Normally they have those like weird square cuboid heads. These don't. These have like the giant sculpted masks from the movie. So I had to get these, and I'm really glad that I did. I pre-ordered these like 7 months ago, and then they just recently turned up. And at the time, they weren't even the actual toys. They were just like 3D rendered sculptures off Zavvi. And like I said, it took like 7 months for them to turn up, which is not abnormal for Zavvi. But at the time, they'd not even made them. I think out of all the toys that Funko Pop have made, these are the ones that look the most like they do in the movie. The masks in that film, I always really loved the fucking sculpting on them, and the only thing that makes them look like a Funko Pop and not the mask from the movie is the fact that they've got painted eyes. The eyes are just all one solid colour. So I was tempted to get the Warhammer paint art, go in with a fine brush and repaint those eyes in, but I've not quite plucked up the courage to do so yet. I don't know if I want to do it yet. I'm still deciding. I'm still trying to make my mind up, but maybe I'll go in and paint those eyes just so that they look even more like they do in the film. So yeah, like I said, not a Funko Pop collector, but I had to get these guys. I should probably stop buying Funkos now because people's going to start to talk. But as much as I said that I don't collect Funko Pops because it's such a slippery slope, like, if they release more of these, I'll definitely be buying them. It would be cool to get the rest of the gang. There's quite a few other clowns in that movie that they've still not released in this style. There's loads in that movie. But it'd be cool to get the toilet monsters, to get the big massive jumbo giant one at the end. Stuff like that would be fucking awesome. So I'll definitely keep my eye out for more Funko Pops. And as long as they keep making these killer clowns, I'll keep buying them. Next up is an awesome little banger from NEMA Studios. Shouts to NEMA Studios, our sponsor. They sent me these guys, My Pet Monster 3.75 Super 7 reaction figures, and these are fucking awesome. I saw these get announced last year, and I'm like, oh, I need them so bad. I love My Pet Monster. I have one on my sofa, and you'd be so surprised how many people walk in my house, sit next to that thing, and they go, oh, fucking hell, look who it is, my old mate. I used to love this guy. It brings back so many nostalgic feelings, this thing, and it's only in the last few years that it's really started to get the recognition it deserves. I remember like 12 years ago trying to get a My Pet Monster t-shirt made, and I designed it all. I'll show you the picture. It's really old now, so I'm a bit embarrassed to even show it, but I wanted to get this made like 12 years ago, like the My Pet Monster escaping from some kind of facility. I thought that's why he had the cuffs on his hand, because he's been held in a cage at like some government facility that found him, and he's escaping it with a big explosion behind him. And I never got it made for whatever reason, but it's nice to know that nowadays it's starting to get the recognition it deserves. I also had this mad vision like years ago that I would get some Care Bear figures and customize them and sculpt them into My Pet Monster toys and do them as customs. Now I don't need to, because that's basically what these are. These are basically Care Bear My Pet Monsters. So we've got this guy, the original, and then we've got the My Football Monster. I fucking love this dude. I don't have the full-size version of this one. I would love it, but and I saw it a few years ago and let it go at a charity shop. I saw one and they wanted like 60 quid for it, and I thought, I don't really want to pay that for it, and I kind of wish I did now, because I've never seen another one since. But I really love that, and I really love this. So shouts to NEMA Studios for sending us these. Fucking awesome. It's so nice to know that My Pet Monster's finally getting some awesome recognition nowadays. Next up, we've got another banger from NEMA Studios. Check these guys. The Toxic Crusaders 3.75s. Full set. Full wave. We've got Major Disaster. Junkyard. We've got a Radiation Ranger. Ideally, you need about 20 of those to recreate the scenes from the show if you wanted to play with them, which I don't, because obviously I never take them off the packaging. I'll talk a bit about the packaging after. We've got Dr. Killemoff. Who else we got? We got Headbanger. And then we got Toxic, the top boy. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I fucking love Toxic Crusaders. I did a whole little mini episode on the Keshi figures and looked at all the Playmates 1990s Toxic Crusaders figures there and then. I've picked up loads more since then, lots of accessories. I've now got them all complete, and at the time I was still missing a few accessories. But if you want to go back, you can see that video on this channel. But if you saw that, you'll know how much I'm fucking buzzing off these things, because at the time I was buzzing off just the little Keshi figures, and I didn't even know that these were coming out. And when I saw they were coming out, I was like, oh shit, Nick, you need to get me some of them when they come through to England. So they've been out in America for a while, but we've only just got them over here in England, so I'm so fucking happy now to have a set. There's two types of card art on these. We've got the bad guys, where you've got Killemoff in this fucking sick artwork. I don't know who did that. If you know who did it, tag him in the comments, because I want to big that guy up. Fucking love that. So we've got Killemoff, and then we've got that Toxie there. In fact, I saw this morning on their website, they released, on their Facebook group, Super 7, they released a Junkyard image by the same artist by the looks of things. Fucking dope. That was awesome as well. So I love these things. They're very much like the Playmates 90s figures. They've got a lot more accessories than reaction figures normally come with, and I think that these have really raised the bar of what reaction figures can be moving forward, because a lot of the time they're very simple. They might come with one accessory, maybe two at a push, but these guys come with loads. Each one of them comes with like at least two accessories. You've got the Radiation Ranger here with the backpack. He's got his toxic barrel cut in half shield, and then he's got his radiation gun there. All of them come with so many accessories. They're fucking dope. I love these guys, and I think they're the perfect toy to bridge the gap between 1970s Star Wars type figures and then like 80s, 90s gross art toys. Fucking awesome. I can't wait to see where they go with this line and if we get more, because we don't have Nozone in this set and we don't have Bonehead, and they're two of the coolest characters. So I'm really hoping if they do some more, we can get those two guys, and maybe some other characters from the show that they never made into toy form, because there's some fucking awesome ones there as well. Also, I know it's a really generic thing to say, but Toxie is definitely my favourite out of these guys. I think they're all fucking awesome, but I just love Toxie. I love this guy. I love Troma. I love everything that they do there. And just to have this dope Toxie that's nothing like the ones that they released before, because Super 7 released some Toxie figures before that they were not like this Toxic Crusaders version. This is fucking awesome. Oh, we don't have Psycho either. We need to figure a Psycho in this set. So we've got Toxic, Major Disaster, Headbanger, Junkyard, the Radiation Ranger, and Dr. Killemoff. We don't have Bonehead, we don't have Nozone, and we don't have Psycho. And like I said, there's some other really cool characters in that cartoon series. Even though it only ran for like one series, one season, there's still some fucking awesome characters that we could also include if they do another wave of these guys. Okay, so taking it a bit more old school now, a bit more 80s. Check this guy that I picked up. Stone Man from Starriors. I've not checked if this guy works yet. You can put batteries in him. In fact, all the toys that I'm going to feature on today's episode that are supposed to have batteries in, I haven't had a chance to put batteries in or check them or anything like that, and this is one of them. So if I show anything that should be mechanized and a robot like this and it don't work, that's because I've not put the batteries in it yet. But check this guy. I fucking love him. He's huge as well. He's huge, man. He's got to be like what, like 16 inch or something like that. It's fucking dope. I always like this guy. I don't like collect Starriors or anything like that, but there's some really nice rock monsters, and this is one of them. So it was one of them. I was always of the understanding when I was looking around toy fairs and stuff, if I ever saw one and it was cheap enough, I would pick it up, but I wouldn't be like actively trying to find one and hunt one down. And I just came across this guy. It was pretty cheap, and I thought, you know what, it's locked down, I'm bored, I want some more toys, let's fucking order the fucker. So yeah, man, I got this guy. And it's funny because usually I like toys that look ravenous and like big monsters, ones that'll rip your head off and spit acid in your face and melt your fucking skin off your skull. I like monsters and evil shit, and this guy looks nothing like that. Check it. He looks a bit dumb and goofy with his mustache face, but I also like the fact that when you're that big and you're made of stone and you're like the size of a planet or some shit, like, you don't need to have a scary face. You are scary. This guy does what the fuck he wants. So when you do what you want, you don't have to walk around looking all mean and scary. I always think that the people that are good at stuff, the people that are genuinely talented or good or are capable of smashing your head in, are usually the nicest people. They don't have to walk around with a chip on the shoulder and act like dickheads because they know that they're good. And I reckon that's what this guy's like. I love the fact that this dude looks like the rock biter from Neverending Story. He's like a big stone golem, but he almost looks like he's made out of like ice or moon rock, like planet rock, that kind of thing. I think he's fucking dope. And I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I know it's not very cool to judge a book by its cover nowadays, but I think that he's definitely a good guy. Looking at him, look at that face. That could never be the face of an evil character. I love this dude. He's fucking awesome. Another vintage toy that very much in the same vein as this one. I thought if I ever see it, I'm going to pick it up. I'm not going to actively go out hunting and looking for one and put it on my holy grail list or anything. But if I see it for a nice price, it's going to come home with me. Is this guy. Check that. Stop Boris. Check that shit. How fucking awesome is that box? If you was a little kid in 1979, you went to the shop with your mum or your dad or your gran or your auntie and you saw this on the shelf, you'd be like, oh shit, I need that. So inside you get this, which is a playmat. You fold that out, and it's actually a game, this toy. So you put the spider out, the Boris, and you got to stop him with this thing, with the laser gun. You have to shoot him. Very much like the Gargan, the Action Man Gargan, the G.I. Joe Terran. It's very much like in the same vein as that. That also came out in the late 70s. Like that must have been like the height of technology then, to have a toy that you could shoot like a TV remote and it'd stop it in its tracks. So you've got the giant mat. It's got some fucking awesome artwork on this mat. This is the kind of mat that you could get framed and it'd look fucking dope on its own. It's made from like the same thing what a twister mat would be made from. Like a thin tarpaulin kind of plastic bag kind of material. So probably could get slashed very easy. So I'm glad that this is in one piece. And then you've got this dude. Check that. Jeez, he's fucking awesome, right? I wish I could. I wish I had some batteries to put inside him so I could light him up. But it does take a shitload of batteries. He takes 4 AA's and then he takes one of those. The battery that you put on your 2 for 9 volts. So yeah, man, I ain't got one of them to hand right now. And then this would also need batteries in as well. You'd also need to put some batteries in there, I believe. I don't know where you'd put them in because there's no opening, but you would also need to put batteries in that thing. It also comes inside with its instruction manual and a piece of paper that's actually supposed to be a ramp. It's some kind of ramp that you follow, but it's literally just a flimsy piece of paper, so I'm not sure why, what that's supposed to do. Like I said, this is the late 70s. People were poor back then. Technology was still, like, in its infancy, so it makes sense that it's just a piece of paper. But this is why we buy this shit anyway. The spider, check that shit. He's fucking bad boy, and he's made from like some transparent jelly rubber, which I fucking love. What I'm going to do as well is all these toys that I showed today that don't have batteries in, I'll buy batteries, I'll get them working, I'll try and get them working, I'll put them in, and if I get them up and running, I'll put them on my Instagram, because that's where I like do updates on my videos. If I'm ever reviewing a toy line and I haven't got all the toys in the line, I'll usually put them on my Instagram after when I do eventually pick them up. So make sure you follow me on there as well for updates and updates on how we make how we stop Boris, yo. Okay, last but not least, the final toy that I'm going to show you today is something that's very fucking special to me. So when I was a little kid, we lived in this huge place. It was a huge hall, and it actually looks like Addams Family Mansion, but it wasn't all our house. I used to tell people it was all our house, but it wasn't. It was like split up into flats. It was an old place called Hackenthorpe Hall. That's what it was called, and we used to live in a little room there. And it was a very strange building. Like there were lots of like weird, like kind of unexplained, ghostly fucking occurrings and stuff when we lived there. So yeah, it was like a weird time, and it eventually burnt down while I lived there. Like it burnt down, and for some reason when I was a little kid, I woke up in the middle of the night and woke up my parents, because I don't know why something woke me up in the middle of the night, and I knocked on my parents' door, which I never really did, and woke them up, and there was a fucking fire downstairs and the whole place set on fire. So if it weren't for me, my parents would have burnt alive. I hope they fucking remember that forever. I swear they don't. Anyway, in the garden, in the grounds of that place was like a massive like field kind of thing, a massive field, and I was out playing in it one day and I found this weird jelly monster. I didn't know what it was at the time. It was too small to fit on my head because it was kind of like a mask. So I remember putting it on my head and thinking, what the fuck? I was only like 4, and I'm like, fuck me, how little does a kid have to be to wear this mask? And I had it for a few years and it must have got thrown away or some shit like that, but it's something that stuck in my mind for years and I never knew what it were. And then about 8 years ago, I found what it was. I found the actual toy, and I'd spent all this time since then trying to keep a lookout for one. I knew at this point I knew what it was called. I didn't even know what it was called before that, but I never saw one around, and I always kind of actively kept my eyes out looking for it. And then about a month ago, I found one on eBay, and this is it. It's called the Warrington's Purple People Eater. Check that thing. That's what I found in the garden when I was a little kid. Now, before I get inside the box, we're just going to have a look on the outside first of all. This is the main thing I want to review today. This is the top boy of this video because it's fucking awesome. Look how fucking buzzing that kid is with his Purple People Eater. That's almost as buzzing as I was when this came through the post a few weeks ago. Fucking dope. So as you can see, it's actually not a mask. It's a jelly skin that fits over a frame of 3 walking legs, and you feed it these little troll men, these little tiny trolls that you feed it. So I'll show you the thing inside. Now, also what's really fucking cool about this is I bought one off eBay, and I never see these for sale, and if I do, they're always really high priced. So I bought one off eBay, but it didn't have the mechanism inside its mouth. It didn't have the thing that holds all the legs together. So I made my own. I'll show you some images now of the one that I made. I made like a circular piece of plastic just so I could fit it all together for now until then. And then my friend last week, shouts to Robot Chubby every single time, he hit me up and he's like, bro, there's another Purple People Eater on eBay. And I was like, oh fuck, and it was bidding. And because this is a toy that not many people know about, no one was bidding on it. So pow, I managed to win it, and then I got it. So now I have 2 boxed Purple People Eaters. Check that shit. I've fucking got 2 now. All these years trying to get one, and now I've got 2. So I can have what? So I've got 2. So one doesn't have the mouth mechanism, and then one does. Check that shit. Fucking dope. Now this is a toy that you need to put batteries in, and you drop the little troll men on his mouth like that, and he'll eat them. But this is the thing that I had when I was a kid, and I remember just thinking it was a weird mask, because look at that shit. It's so small. I thought, what kind of little baby's head does that have to fit on? It also has this parasite in its eye. I don't know why. It has a little weird parasite that fits in its eye. But as a kid, it didn't have it in, so I was like, well, it's definitely a mask because you can see through its eye. So you can see why I was confused as a little child in this weird haunted house that we lived in, and then I found this weird little child's mask in the fucking garden when I was a kid. And when I posted this on my Instagram, so many people hit me up like, shit, man, I had one of them when I was a kid. I had one of those, and they didn't know what it were called because it's just such an obscure fucking weird toy. But I'm so fucking happy to have this now. Check how cool that is. The Warrington's Purple People Eater. When we talk about holy grails and we talk about stuff that like we really, really want, this is one of those that's like the pinnacle of that. So you always have like a little part of your soul just like click clink completed, like a jigsaw piece whenever you find one of these when you're a toy hunter. And I've wanted this figure for so fucking long I've wanted this toy, and I'm so happy to now not only have 1 but 2. Even though the second one's a bit incomplete and I had to make something to make it fit together, it really sits pretty much the same on the shelf as the one that's complete. So it's fucking awesome to finally have 2. So I'm not going to keep hold of 2. I'll sell one, or I'll trade one with a friend that's after one or something like that. I'm not greedy. I don't like these guys when they're like, oh look, I collect Shogun Warriors Godzillas and they've got 15 of them, and I'm like, brother, I'd just like 1. I don't even care if it's a bit broken. I'd just like 1. 1 would be fucking fine. So I'm not going to start hoarding an army building or anything like that. So if anybody's after the Purple People Eater, holler me and we'll work out a trade or something like that. This video is a little bit different to what I've normally been doing. If you've been keeping up with the channel throughout lockdown, you'll see that like my style and making videos completely changed, and I stopped doing this like camera facing style and more scripted toy reviews, almost making them like 80s toy commercials and like putting some little personal stories and things like that, and keep them a lot tighter and a lot more scripted. I don't really like doing this kind where I just ramble to camera. As a creative, as an artist, I don't always want to do the same thing as well. So if I ever switch it up and do something a bit different, it's just to keep myself sane so that stuff's not always the same old fucking video. And there's so many people on YouTube that just sit and talk into a camera like this, and I don't need to be another one of them. So if I can do my stuff a little bit differently, then I will. 2020 lockdown has been a crazy fucking time, and if there's one thing that we can take away from it, it's that us toy collectors might have like got some of our holy grails or spent a bit more time online buying toys than what they normally would have and things like that. And for me personally, I've used it as a time to acquire some of my holy grails like the fucking Purple People Eater and the Stop Boris, which is fucking awesome and things like that. But it's also been at a time when I've been able to sit down and really like think how I want to do my YouTube videos from now on and stuff like that. So although this is just a little quick snappy unscripted one, I'm going to be doing more of my more scripted documentary style episodes moving forward from this. It's funny because at the start of the year, I did that January video, the 2020 like New Year video, and I'm drinking Jack Daniels and I'm saying, yeah man, 2020 is going to be a fucking awesome year. I can feel it in my bones. I don't know what the fuck I was feeling because it's been an abysmal year for so many people. So if you're watching this video and you've got some nice holy grails during 2020 lockdown, then let me know in the comments what you picked up, man, because I love talking toys, and I think while all this shit's going on in the world, toys and art and cool creative stuff are one of the few things that can keep us smiling and keep us happy and positive, man. So I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV, all figured out, my 2020 lockdown haul. I hope you're good. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll catch you in the next one. For now, I'm gone. Pow. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Instagram, and if you want to help make Slimehouse bigger and better than ever, then you can also consider being an absolute legend and subscribing to our Patreon. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Slimehouse TV.